I once met a man named Arthur in a small cafe in Chiang Mai. He was in his late 60s with kind eyes that held a hint of sadness. We got to talking, and he told me his story. For 40 years, he and his wife Eleanor had dreamed of traveling the world. They had a map on their kitchen wall, covered in pins marking all the places they wanted to see. Paris for their anniversary, the Great Wall of China, the pyramids of Egypt. They told themselves, someday, when the kids were grown, someday when the mortgage was paid off, someday when they finally retired and had all the time in the world. That someday always felt just over the horizon. There was always one more practical reason to wait. The pins on the map remained untouched. Then, 2 months after Arthur retired, Eleanor was diagnosed with a severe illness. Suddenly, their someday had vanished. Arthur began traveling alone, trying to see the world for both of them. He carried her picture with him everywhere. He told me, with tears, that his biggest regret wasn't money or missed career goals. His biggest regret was all the somedays they let slip by. Money. I can't afford to travel, people say, picturing 5-star hotels and expensive tours. The second great delayer is work. I can't take that much time off, is a common refrain. The third and perhaps most powerful delayer is fear. This isn't just a fear of flying or of getting lost in a foreign city. Fear of the unknown, fear of being lonely, fear of something going wrong. This fear whispers that it's safer to stay home, where everything is familiar and under control. You don't have enough money, so you have to work more. You have to work more, so you don't have time. And the thought of leaving your job and spending your savings is terrifying. It's a vicious cycle that convinces us that waiting is the only sensible option. But these barriers are not as solid as they appear. With a shift in perspective and a bit of planning, they can be dismantled, one piece at a time. The fundamental problem with waiting for the perfect moment to travel is that it doesn't exist. It's a fantasy, a beautiful illusion we create to make ourselves feel better about our inaction. We believe that one day the stars will align, and a voice will declare, now is the perfect time to go. But life doesn't work that way. The reality is, there will always be a reason not to go. The goalpost is always moving. 5,000 saved, 10,000 saved, 15,000 saved. Waiting robs you of your most valuable, non-renewable resource, time. Time, once it's gone, is gone forever. The perfect time is a trap that keeps you in a perpetual state of waiting. The real perfect moment is the one you decide to create. The moment you decide to take control and make it happen is the only perfect moment you will ever get. The best way to see that the barriers are illusions is to look at the people who have already broken through them. I once met a young couple from Canada, Liam and Chloe, who were backpacking through Southeast Asia. They weren't trust fund kids, a barista and retail worker. They spent a year working extra shifts packing their own lunches. They sold their car and put their belongings in storage. They were happier than they'd ever been, living on less than $50 a day. Then there was Maria, a 50-year-old teacher from Spain I met on a bus in Peru. After her children left for college, she felt a void. So she booked a one-way ticket to South America. She learned on the go with hand gestures and a smile. She proved age is just a number and courage is acting despite fear. I also remember Ben, a software developer who negotiated remote work. He proved he could be productive from Bali as he was from San Francisco. Ben integrated travel into his career, creating the best of both worlds. These stories show a simple truth. Where there's a will, there's a way. Liam and Chloe prove you don't need to be rich. Maria proves it's never too late. Ben proves you don't have to choose between career and travel. They were just like you with the same doubts, fears, responsibilities. The only difference is they made a choice. They chose their dream over excuses and created their own perfect time. It's time to stop saying I can't and start asking how can I? This simple shift in language is the first step toward dismantling your excuses. Instead of I can't afford it, ask, how can I make this trip affordable? Next, you need to get specific and write things down. A 2-week trip to see Rome, Florence, Venice. Pick a realistic date, September 2026, do some basic research, look up flight prices, hostel costs, daily food expenses. Now you have a tangible goal, not just a fuzzy wish. Break down that big goal into small, manageable steps. A $3,000 trip can feel overwhelming, but saving $250 a month for a year feels achievable. That's just over $8 a day. Can you make coffee at home instead of buying it? Can you pack your lunch for work? Can you cancel a streaming service you don't use? Track your spending for 1 month to see where your money is actually going. This isn't about deprivation. It's about conscious spending, prioritizing your dream over temporary conveniences. Finally, address the fear factor head-on by arming yourself with information. Read blogs by solo travelers, join online communities, consult government travel advisories. The more you learn, the more you'll realize the world isn't as scary as you imagine. Knowledge turns terrifying what-ifs into manageable how-tos, turning fear into excitement. The biggest misconception is that travel has to be expensive. Real, immersive travel is often incredibly affordable, connecting you with local culture in a way a hotel never could. Your career feels like a giant, immovable object in the path of your travel dreams, but you are not your job title. Your life is bigger than your cubicle. Travel encourages a different perspective. You work to live. Your job is a tool, a means to an end. It funds the life you want to create. Once you see it this way, it loses some of its power over you. For many, the first step is to simply use the vacation time they've already earned. They worry about the mountain of work waiting, feel guilty about leaving their team. This is a trap. The company will survive without you for 2 weeks. Take your vacation, all of it. Combine it with public holidays to stretch a 1-week break into 10 days. The rise of remote work has been a game changer for aspiring travelers. If your job can be done from a computer, there's a real possibility it can be done from anywhere. This requires a conversation with your employer. Prepare a detailed proposal. Frame it as a win-win. The company retains a valuable employee, you get flexibility. What if remote work isn't possible? Then you might consider more radical options like taking a sabbatical or simply quitting. This sounds terrifying, but it's not the career-ending move it once was. The skills you gain, budgeting, problem-solving, cross-cultural communication, resilience, these skills are highly sought after. Sometimes you have to close one door, trusting that your travels will open another, even better one. The biggest misconception is that travel has to be expensive, fueled by luxury magazines and Instagram influencers. Hostels aren't just for broke college students, they're vibrant social hubs connecting you with local culture. The best food is often the cheapest. Eat where the locals eat. Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America, incredible experiences at fraction of the cost. The key is adopting a traveler's mindset, not a vacationer's mindset. This means making conscious choices, public transportation, reusable water bottles, happy hour deals. Traveling this way isn't about being cheap, it's about being smart so you can travel longer. Ultimately, funding your travels comes down to priorities. Many people spend hundreds monthly on things they don't truly need. If you redirect that money, you could easily save for a significant trip every year. It requires valuing experiences over possessions. The joy of sunrise over a new city lasts a lifetime, long after the novelty of a new gadget has faded. It's not a lack of money that stops most people, it's a lack of prioritizing travel as a goal worth saving for. The idea of selling everything and buying a one-way ticket can be incredibly intimidating. That pressure to go big or go home can lead to doing nothing at all. But here's a secret. You don't have to start with a round-the-world trip. The goal is simply to break your routine, get out of your comfort zone, become a tourist in your own city. How many amazing places are within driving distance? Take a weekend trip, camp overnight, stay in a cheap motel. These small trips are your training ground, building confidence in a low-stakes environment. You learn how to pack efficiently, navigate using maps, find interesting places to eat. Each successful small trip chips away at fear and replaces it with competence and excitement. It proves you can do this. You're capable of planning and executing a journey. You come back not exhausted but refreshed and inspired. A weekend trip might only cost a tank of gas and $100, requiring no time off work. By starting small, you build momentum. One successful trip leads to planning longer adventures. You're building your travel habit, integrating it into your life in a sustainable way. You don't have to wait for a giant leap. You can start today with a single step. We began with Arthur, a man haunted by the ghost of someday. He waited for the perfect time that never arrived. His story is a tragedy but also a gift, a warning against procrastination. We have all been given this one wild and precious life. We don't know how long it will be, the clock is ticking for all of us. Every day we spend waiting is a sunset we won't see, a conversation we won't have. The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only one page. You have the power to write a different story for yourself. You can choose to look at the barrier of money, the barrier of work, the barrier of fear, and decide to find a way through them. You don't need to be rich, you don't need to be fearless, you don't need to be completely free of responsibility to start. You just need to be brave enough to take the first step. That step doesn't have to be booking a round-the-world ticket. It can be as simple as opening a dedicated savings account named Travel Fund. It can be researching your dream destination for 30 minutes. It can be planning a day trip to a nearby town. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Create it. The world is spinning right now, filled with incredible people, filled with breathtaking landscapes, filled with life-changing experiences. It's all out there, waiting for you. Don't wake up in 20 or 40 years filled with regret for chances you didn't take. Make a promise to yourself today that you will stop postponing your joy. Decide that your dreams are not just to be wished for but to be lived. Your future self will thank you for the courage you show today. So I will leave you with this one final question. If nothing held you back, where would you travel first? Hit subscribe now, share and like.